Well, hello. My name is Robert Headley, and I've had a love affair with Baltimore movie theaters for over 70 years. I'd like to thank Johns Hopkins and Baltimore Heritage for coming up with this great idea for 5-minute histories. Today, I'd like to talk about a little movie theater that I believe is one of the most interesting ones in the city. Of course, it's long gone. But first, let's set the stage. One of my favorite places in downtown Baltimore was the narrow little block of West Lexington Street between Charles and Liberty. The southeast corner was Baltimore's famous Windy Corner, and you could lose a lot of hats there. This block had 5 movie theaters with a bewildering number of names and was an early center for movie theaters in town. On the north side were the Great Wizard, the Blue Mouse, and the huge Century in Valencia. On the south side were the Amusea, which didn't last very long, and the Picture Garden. I want to talk today about the theater at 31 West Lexington. It was known by 9 different names and lasted from 1907 until 1952. It was designed by architect Alfred Lowther Forrest and opened in 1907 as the 31. But the name was quickly changed to Wizard by the operators Tom Bohannon and Harry Louis. These guys were great promoters, and once at this theater they showed a movie called The Directoire Gown on the streets of Baltimore. Created quite a sensation, I'm sure. In the spring of 1911, the theater was remodeled and the name was changed to Picture Garden. It seated about 350 people and opened with first-run pictures in July 1911, modestly advertising itself as the most luxurious photoplay theater in America. Admission was 5 cents. A contemporary account called it a handsome and rather unique moving picture theater. The house was well supplied with electric fans, and they were much needed back then. In February 1912, the Picture Garden began using behind-the-screen talkers. These were actors and actresses who sat behind the screen and gave voices and sound effects to what was going on the screen. Joseph Bleachman leased the theater in 1913. Later on, in 1920, he remodeled it from plans by Oliver B. White. The remodeled theater lasted less than 2 years. It was unable to compete with the huge Century Theater, which had opened across the street in 1921. The building was leased to milliners and lay fallow for 16 years. Then in 1938, it reopened as the Lexway. The Lexway lasted until 1942, when it was leased by Newsreel Theaters of America and reopened as Baltimore's second newsreel theater in June 1942. It was renamed the Newsreel. The first attraction included 62 news events and shorts with exclusive war analyses by H.V. Kaltenborn and Tex McCrary, and the latest issue of the March of Time. Appropriately enough, one of the biggest news stories of that year was happening at about the same time. The U.S. fleet was winning the Battle of Midway. In announcing the opening of the newsreel, Sun film critic Donald Kirkley commented on its chances of success. Baltimore's needs for a cinema which offers an outlet for all documentaries, undiluted by escapist fiction, has been argued pro and con for many years. Some say such a project will succeed here in an ideal location. Some say it will collide with the city's chronic antipathy toward novelties. We shall see. Well, we did see, and Baltimore wasn't quite ready for an all-news theater. A year after it opened, the newsreel added feature films to its programs. The name changed again. Between 1944 and 1946, it was known as the Vogue. The name changed again in 1946 to Laugh Movie. That's Laff. Shows consisted of a humorous feature film with dozens of cartoons and comedy shorts. A January 1948 show at the Laugh Movie included 15 comedies with 50 comedians and 6 cartoons. It was a child's delight. One of my favorite features of the Laugh Movie was a series of funhouse mirrors. You know, the kind that made people look tall and skinny or short and fat. This was in the lobby and you walked past it as you went in. In March 1949, the theater was remodeled again and reopened as the World. The World ran many double features and revivals, including Marx Brothers comedies and Flash Gordon's space operas. It closed in the summer of 1951. In November 1951, the theater reopened again. This time would be its last, as the Fine Arts. It got into trouble with the local censor board by showing the film Dante's Inferno without the censor board's seal. The Fine Arts did not last out the year and closed in July 1952. The World and Fine Arts were among the few venues in town at that time that showed older classic movies. I really miss this cozy, oddly shaped, seedy little house and that wonderful block of West Lexington Street.